Products? We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up and use the promo code BKING. Combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. And when you win, you get your money really fast. It's a safe app. It's easy to download and super easy to use. Sign up today. Use that promo code BKING for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code BKING. Must be at least 21. Present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
Listen, you can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Alrighty then.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Friday afternoon to you. And yes, it is time for the McFarland Show for the next 2 hours. Darren and Justin here with you. Devlin alongside here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. It is fun at Strike and Spare. We were there last night.
How was it?
It was fantastic. First time at the Murfreesboro location.
Okay.
Which is there at the Galleria Mall.
Yes.
And it is a great location. And
okay.
Fun time was had by all. In fact, my kid, when we were walking out, said, "When are we coming back?" I'm like, we're leaving. You're already making plans for when we're coming back. I guess that's a good sign, right? That means he really had a good time.
Do they still have arcade games at the bowling alleys anymore? And if we don't, it's not a shot against Strike and Spare. We love Strike and Spare. It's nothing against. I'm just a general question. I know that was a thing that used to happen a lot. Like,
I don't want to say yes or no because I'm not positive.
Okay, fair enough.
But I know that the last thing that my son was doing with one of the boys on the baseball team is they were doing their VR machine together. Together, and it's like evidently like a roller coaster ride in space. That was funny to just sit and watch, right? Because they're like
they're in outer space.
Yes, they're in outer space.
You're
and
in
they're
Murfreesboro.
Like, they're going to the left and going, whoa, to the right. And we're just sitting there laughing at them like it's two kids in goggles sitting there in a machine. And we're like, well, this is fun. This is fun for us just to watch them.
Their bodies are here, but their minds are elsewhere.
They're like pointing at things.
Yes.
Like,
look at that. You mean the drywall? No.
No, that was an asteroid. Oh, okay.
Sure.
So I know they had that.
But that's cool.
But we were off bowling and doing our own thing
that's
with the
fine.
adults. The kids, we all bowled a game together, and then we go at it. And they've got laser tag and roller skating.
Yeah.
And so us adults could talk about the upcoming season.
Yes.
And the kids were running. So I didn't exactly go
explore.
Explore. That's
it's
a good
fine.
word.
It's
a good
fine.
word. Yeah, explore.
They didn't explore the property. That's fine.
If you're asking me, I didn't play any arcade games.
It's okay.
So, but it was a good time.
It's
good
okay.
time. So we appreciate what Strike and Spare has done for this radio station and what they did for Tidal Wave Blue last night. So,
without question.
Yeah, good times. So this is going to be a fun show. We got a lot of things to get into to close out another week here on the show, and we're going to check in with Emma Lingen, who is in Washington, Predators and Capitals tonight. So we'll do that in about 15 minutes. Big win for them last night against Carolina. Man, that was a big win. Carolina is good, and UC Soros saw 470 shots, I believe.
Wow. I think he just got another save just now.
Yeah, 67 shots is what he faced last night.
Unreal.
I faced 67 shots once as a freshman in college, and I lived to tell about it.
What kind of?
And I didn't play for the hockey team.
What are we talking about now? I feel like we're talking about something different now.
That's my hint. I didn't play for the Cool Cats.
Very cool. All right,
which was the hockey team.
We all have college war stories now. Most of us do. Most of us have stories. Some of us witness things. That was my testimony. So but sure, 67 shots.
I feel like I just, I did my best Greg Pogue here on the show. Say something that makes everybody in the room very uncomfortable. Did I just have my Greg Pogue moment?
No, it's not. Well, no, because, it didn't make me uncomfortable. I just wanted to make sure I understood what we were talking about.
Devlin was over there laughing.
If we're switching to, a different subject, just let me know. Then all right, well, cool. That's what we're talking about now, huh?
I'm just saying that one time in my life I faced 67 shots in a night.
Yeah,
I lived to tell about it just like he did.
Just like Soros. And, unlike him, you're not going to the All-Star game.
No, that's right.
You didn't go to the All-Star game after the 67 shots.
I kind of felt like the next day they did name me to the All-Star team.
Yes.
Really, because I was alive.
Yes, as long as they turn off the lights and be quiet about it.
Could you say this quietly, please?
Congratulations.
Psst, hey. All-Star.
Yeah.
David Beauclair will join us at 3 o'clock to begin the second hour of the program. Titans and Jags tomorrow night, a 7:15 kick. I've got buddies in different markets, hence why we get together in June for a trip every year that we've done for, 17 years now.
Very cool.
And I've got buddies in Dallas and a buddy in L.A., and a buddy in Raleigh, and buddies in Atlanta. I mean, all over the place, okay? And this week they've been reaching out, and in particular, like the last couple of days, and a couple this morning, said, hey, what's your vibe on the Titans game? Yeah, I'm sure that that's not because they're just curious. My guess is they may want to dabble some.
I see.
And I'm like, to be real honest,
don't do it.
I don't know.
Don't do it.
I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out.
Don't do it.
I really don't.
Too many other options. Don't do it.
I just don't have a really strong feel about this game. I don't.
I don't know how you could. There's so many different factors with this game. So many. That it's hard to tell exactly what you're going to get out of either one of these teams, quite frankly.
Well, Tony Smith came on yesterday, and he's building it up on this show like it's the biggest regular season game in Jags history. And we're like, what?
Well, for them, yeah, sure.
What's the atmosphere going to be like? It's going to be crazy.
Electric. I bet it is.
Electric. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, they're the hot team. They're the ones flying high. They're on a grand adventure. We all been there. If you've been on a sports, what I call a sports journey, which you're following a team, you get on the journey with the team, they're down, then they're up, and then you get in that playoff chase. And who hasn't been in the middle of the playoff chase? Baseball created a whole generation of fans off of a lot of things. But the pennant chase, okay? How many games back are you? Oh, they win again. Oh, they win again. Now they're 3 games back, 2 games back. Oh, my goodness, here they come. The Jaguars are in a playoff chase. It's been building for a long time. They didn't think they could do it. Now all of a sudden they're right on the cusp of getting it done. So sure, I bet it's exciting for them down there in Jacksonville after weeks and weeks of build-up, and now they get the big bad old Titans coming to town. So I bet it is exciting for them. Meanwhile, here in town in Nashville, they've lost 6 straight games. It's not like, oh, I hope we get to the playoffs because we haven't been to the playoffs in such a long – well, no. Yeah, okay. The fan base just isn't as hungry for it. They've already been to the playoffs. There's a lot of people who I don't think even want to go to the playoffs, which, how crazy is that? But, they'd rather just move on to the draft.
Yeah, I can't. That's just
So I'm sure it's exciting in Jacksonville. I'm sure.
It's kind of a silly notion, honestly. I will never understand why fans think that way. Look, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't get it. But look, from a business side of things, just think about it. You want your team to not host a playoff game just for a couple draft spots? What?
Yeah.
Do you understand, like, they're in the business of making money, and the more money they make, the nicer things they can do, right? They can build nicer facilities. They can maybe have a new stadium, and then you get to have, sit in more luxury and do nicer things, and they get to spend more money on players. And,
Darren,
by the way, there's a playoff
that
game that's going to be shown in Nashville and more exposure for this market, and you want them just to sit at home and so you can move up 3 spots in the draft?
So you're looking at this like a business.
Of course I am.
And
we are at a bit. It's our market. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you?
Because they're looking at it. The fans who say such things are looking at it about how to help the fans, help the team on the field to ultimately achieve and win at some point. Because none of those things you just mentioned are going to help the Titans get the best left tackle possible.
Do you want this market to do you want it to be healthy? Do you want the teams to be healthy?
Well, yes, but what you're talking about for and again, I understand perfectly what you're saying. I'm just saying that the person who is talking about draft position is not necessarily talking about the business side of the football team. They're only talking about the on-field positions and the on-field roster building for the football team. That's their only interest. They are not thinking about the business side.
I understand. But if we were talking about the 20, let's see, okay, so you don't make the playoffs. So the 18th pick or the first pick, like that's a totally different thing, right? Okay. But, by the way, I'm not sure there is that, number one. There's not an Andrew Luck out there. I don't know. There's not a Trevor Lawrence out there. There's not a Peyton Manning out there. All the number one overall picks and Eli Manning out there, right?
No, there isn't.
So what are we talking about then? There's not that special. That's why, as much as I love him and he's a dear, dear, dear friend, we're going to agree to disagree, and you watched it play out at the GMC dealership.
Yes, I walked
there
away,
in Murfreesboro.
Yes.
Yeah, because you know why? Because whoever's going to have the number one pick in hockey, there is that special guy out there this year.
Yes.
Okay? They're all talking about it. Like, this guy is a generational player. So that could change an entire franchise, which could change an entire market and success of a market and a franchise. So if you suck, which is exactly what the Blackhawks are trying to do, they're trying, or whoever else you want to put in that category, Columbus, they want that generational player that can change the next 10 years for their market. Not making the playoffs or making the playoffs for the Titans is not change. You think 3 picks or 4 picks is going to change this franchise for the next 10 years? I guess it could.
It could.
It could. But your odds are
but
pretty.
You don't know who you don't know how or who that's going to be. But sure, could it? Well, yeah, it could in theory.
3 picks later, the Houston Texans took J.J. Watt, while the Tennessee Titans took Jake Locker. That was separated by 3 picks. Yeah, it changed the franchise.
But it really didn't, because they were going to pick a quarterback anyway. So it didn't matter where they picked, because they needed a quarterback that
I'm just saying it changed Houston, right?
Yeah.
It changed Houston. 3 picks can do,
sure,
can work
well,
out
it depends
for
on what you're looking for. But, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I got you. I'm just saying that people are going to be locked in, because none of those things you're speaking of is really helping the Titans win ball games. And again, the fan base, or a good portion of them, or the people who say that, who rather lose this game instead of going to the playoffs, are just bored with the playoffs. They're bored with the playoffs. They're bored. They've been there. They've done that. They're tired of losing in the playoffs. They've seen 6 home playoff games and won 2 in the last 22 years. They don't care.
Yeah, I understand that. And let me just say that, and I know if people were to call in and defend that feeling that they have, if there's people listening right now. They're like, yeah, just screw it. Lose in Jacksonville.
Go to players ain't gonna do nothing. No way.
Exactly. We're not gonna do anything anyway. We're gonna lose. Okay. Just because I'm saying no, win in Jacksonville, host a playoff game, doesn't mean that I am saying that also results in a win. I'm just saying you don't turn down hosting a playoff game.
Yes, it is better for business to be in the playoffs
better
than
for
not.
business. Yes.
Yes, that part is true.
It doesn't mean that I think they're going to win, because they're not going to win.
Yeah, but what's currency? So for a fan, currency is not necessarily the bottom line or health and market or even the stadium. In some cases, it's wins and losses, memories out there on the field. And for a lot of Titans fans, the fact that, they're on Monday Night Football, they get the national exposure, that was cool in 2002. We are way beyond that. We've already done that. We've been the hottest team in the league. We've been the worst team in the league. We've done everything. The top 5 picks, the playoffs, AFC champion. We've done all this. So, for them, it's like, bring me some. If you can't bring me some W's, find me some people who can. And, the rest of this, really doesn't matter anyway. Going out there and sitting, we had all the hype last year in Cincinnati, and you really want to know where some of this is from, Darren. The Cincinnati loss last year is still hanging.
Sure.
It's still hanging with the fan base. I know it is.
It's hung over.
Oh, yeah.
It's being hung over. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's 67 shots feeling the next day. Mm-hmm. That's what the Cincinnati game feels like. Yeah.
Yes. 67 of Brown, too. Not 67 of 67 is something heavy.
Brown.
Something
brown or gold?
No, well, I don't know. It depends on where you're from. So I don't know. It depends on where you're from. I don't know. I don't know much about the gold. I've seen a whole lot of the brown, though, and so it's probably roughly the same thing. But, that's the harder stuff. And for Titans fans, they took 67 of the brown or gold or, or whatever else. And they haven't shaken it off yet. They're still
popping ibuprofen
about that.
Yeah, I get it. I just will never agree with.
And by the way,
playoffs.
The folks in Jacksonville are still popping ibuprofen over 99. Some of them, as we heard yesterday, some of them still haven't gotten over it.
I know. It's amazing.
Listen, Buffalo fans aren't over the Music City Miracle. Okay, like that comes up. And Buffalo fans are still mad about it.
Until this team currently constructed, they weren't. Like until Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and the winning they've been doing here the last 3-4 years, right?
Well,
they had not gotten over it. Think about it. This is 1999. We're in 2023.
Yeah.
So until like the last 3 years, they ain't gotten over it. Now they've moved on, I'm sure. Because
no, they haven't. Why are they moving on? What happened?
Just because times are way better now. They have a legit team.
What did they do?
Well, they have a legit team.
Okay, well, that's nice. But what have they done?
People view them as a Super Bowl contender.
If they don't get a ring 5 years from now when the team ages out, the Music City Miracle will still hurt.
So they're going to pull that scab off again, is what you're saying?
It will still hurt.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes it go away fully is that championship ring.
Yeah.
Especially for the Buffalo Bills. You think getting to the Super Bowl is going to help them? Yeah. They've done that a few times. They're not worried about that.
Speaking of that, it looks like the reports are that Damar Hamlin. Well, I know because Sean McDermott did speak today, and it seems like Damar Hamlin did a little FaceTime with his teammates, which
outstanding.
Wow,
outstanding.
I mean, wow. How this week is? Think about it.
Yes.
This is just Friday.
Yes.
You talking about business picking up in a hurry for the good. Wow. Pretty amazing.
It came through in a hurry.
Yep.
And it's fantastic. And it makes everything a lot easier now. It's easier on first and foremost, easier on the family, on his friends, and the people who love him and know him personally. I know they are all breathing and sleeping a little bit easier today. It's also easier to get back to the business of football as well for the NFL. And they are starting to do just that. So it's easier for everybody. This is good news for everybody.
We'll come back. We'll catch up with them in Lincoln. Big win last night for the Preds. Tonight they're in Washington taking on the Capitals. UC Saros, what a night by him. She's in Washington. She's at Capital One Arena, and we'll talk to her next here on the McFarland Show, WNSR.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. You can stream live, local, and primetime regular season games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays, and more.
That's how you do it right there.
This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Wherever you are, this is how you football. Go to plus.nfl.com/radio and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Terms and conditions apply.
WNSR Nashville Sports Radio would like to take this time to say congratulations to Greg Poe. Greg is a member of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. Greg Poe has been a standard and staple of Nashville sports media. Congratulations to Greg Poe and the rest of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. From your friends and family at WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Here on the McFarland Show on this Friday afternoon. Darren and Justin here with you, live from the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Let's head to Washington, Capital One Arena. Can the Predators keep this going after a thrilling 5-3 victory last night in Raleigh over the Hurricanes? A very good Hurricanes team, and someone who knows a little bit about the Hurricanes and the Preds is our next guest. Emma Lincoln is the Preds beat reporter. NashvillePredators.com. Follow her on Twitter. Get all the info from the game, reaction, previews. She's got it. Now she joins us. Emma, what's going on? Uh-oh. We there? We
Emma?
got it? Emma's there? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. Okay.
All right.
That was on our end, I think.
Yeah, Emma, you're in Washington, and today is January 6th, so we held our breath for just a second. But I'm glad you're okay.
Yep, that was, it's funny how, long it took some people to put that connection together. But that was maybe because I'm born and raised here. I'm from Washington, D.C. I kind of put that together right away with the schedule. But
it's a joke. It's just a joke. Everything is fine.
So this is
so
like
far, so good.
Okay. So this is literally your road trip then. I mean, between last night and today.
Yeah, it's been sort of a double homecoming for me. Got to go back. I think I said earlier in the week, it's, DC was my first home and Raleigh was my first hockey home. So it's kind of all coming full circle.
Well, you were there for many, many seasons covering the Hurricanes. Nino Niederreiter was there and a fan favorite coming here from Carolina. What was it like for Nino to go through last night and a little homecoming from him and to obviously come out with 2 points?
Well, I think getting the 2 points made it all the more, sweeter for him. But I knew how much he was loved in Raleigh, and for good reason as well. No one there wanted to see him leave. And so I knew that the welcome was going to be big, the reception was going to be good, but it was really, really impressive to see the welcome he got. They did a video tribute for him at the first TV timeout, and the whole crowd gave him a standing ovation, and you could tell he was just really, really moved by it.
UC Saros, everybody's moved by his performance last night. There are very few times in hockey games, if you go back and look at the box score, where you see one team had 67 shots, and you're thinking, well, the other team had to have been at least in the 50s, right? Well, they had to have been. No, 25. And the team with 25 shots won 5-3. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen anything quite like that. That was quite special to be a part of. I think John Hines said after the game, maybe it wasn't the prettiest win. We certainly didn't want to give up shots in the 60s, but that's when you see why UC Saros is your all-star.
What's working with this team right now? Because we know we've had you on the show. We've been talking about it on the show. A league that is scoring at will. It's not, uncommon to look at every night the scores around the league and you're like, oh, they scored 8 goals, and you don't bat an eye anymore at that stuff. But yet the Predators were really struggling to score, to put the puck in the back of the net. Well, they've had 21 goals in the last 4 games. What have you seen working on that front?
Well, I've seen a couple things. I think, first of all, you're starting to see scoring from throughout the lineup. It's not just, Philip Forsberg, who, is still incredible, but he's not carrying the scoring anymore. It's now you're seeing guys like Cody Glass, Colton Sissons. You're seeing people from throughout the lineup are finding the back of the net, and that's really important in this league. So that's number one. And then I would say number two is you've got different kinds of scoring, if that makes sense. There's different, they have a stronger net front presence. They have they're crashing the net more. They can shoot from distance. They're actually, producing on the power play. And so you can tell they're scoring more goals from more people and different kinds of goals. So I think that's really the combination of what's clicking.
Well, they're approaching the midway point of their season. Tonight will be game 38 in Washington. So once you get to the halfway point of the season, if you're not where you need to be, it is definitely time to start kicking it in gear. Do you think this is a patch right now in the way they're playing? Obviously, you're not going to expect UC Saros to have 64 saves a night in and night out, but are you seeing some things that maybe this team is really starting to come together where they can really string together a pretty good patch of wins?
Yeah, I think, you're looking at the way that they're playing now. They're playing with a lot more confidence, and rightfully so, because they have been having success. It's one thing to get a win, a 6-3 win over Montreal, who is a team that's been struggling. But then when you go against the Carolina Hurricanes, who are number 2 in the league, and come out with a win there, that certainly gives you some confidence. And then we're going to face a tough Washington team tonight as well. So I think these are the kinds of wins, quality wins that they're putting together and that are going to give them the confidence that they need to really start stringing wins together here.
How about Ekholm in the scoring department here of late? Not a guy that, this team really depends on very many goals as a blue liner, but Matthias Ekholm's been hot here of late.
He has, yeah. He's working really well on that pair with Alexander Carrier. The two of them have really been clicking together, and yeah, he's a strong net front presence too for a blue liner, and they've definitely been seeing more out of him. It's not just Roman Josi scoring from the blue line anymore, and Eke's starting to heat up too. So we love to see that.
Dante Fabro has been a healthy scratch here of late. One, how do you think he's handling that, and what is John Hines saying about Dante Fabro not being in the lineup?
I think, first of all, I think Dante's handling it great. I think that sometimes we forget how young he is because he's been in the league, relatively speaking, for a long time. He's still only 24 years old. He's a young guy. He's played top line minutes or top pair minutes with Roman Josi before, so we've seen what he can do. I think as far as being a healthy scratch, Roland McEwen was called up just to add depth. There weren't any injuries on defense at any point, but it's, these are the same guys who have been playing for so many games, and we've got a stretch here where there are two on this road trip. We have 5 games, and 4 of them are back-to-back. That's a lot on these guys. And so, it's really good to have that kind of depth that you can bring in. And so I think it's less about Dante or what he's doing or not doing. I think it's more about just giving these guys a break and, trying to rotate guys in and out so you avoid injuries and things like that. So I think overall it's been, this is just kind of what happens when you get to this point in the season.
Wanted to ask you about where the Predators are. As I look at the standings, and Darren's mentioning the fact that we're getting close to the halfway point, as I see it here, the Predators are only 3 to 4 points back of the last 2 wild card spots there in the Western Conference. So even though it has not been the season that they wanted, they're still very much within striking distance, and I imagine that gives the team a little hope and a little confidence. It's not like they're at the absolute bottom of the league, even though some of the stats until a week ago may have suggested a very different team.
Yeah, and to your point, what you just said, you kind of see how quickly things can change in this league with how many games there are and how long the season is. Things can change, and so definitely within striking distance. This team, their goal is to make the playoffs. That's what they're playing for, and they don't want to settle for anything less. And they know that. They're aware of where they are, but at the end of the day, they're focusing on them and what they can control. They're in a tougher division this year. We've got teams like Dallas coming out really hot and really haven't cooled down, who are presenting more of a challenge in their division. And, there are a lot of really good teams. And so I think that you ask anyone on our team about it, and they'll tell you, we just got to worry about us and what we can control. But they will also all tell you that their goal is to make playoffs, and they will not be satisfied until they are firmly in that position. So they still have some work to do.
I would say what has gotten into Philip Forsberg, but the better question is, what became right about Philip Forsberg all of a sudden? Like what happened? All of a sudden, this man looks like the guy from last year in the last 5, 6, 7 games, where the first half of the season you're like, where did he go? And now he's back. Like, what's going on with that?
Well, I think it's a couple things. One was what I mentioned earlier as far as scoring different types of goals. And that's something that both Phil and John Hines have mentioned in my conversations with them, that they've been working specifically. He's been working on different types of scoring and having a versatile toolbox there and being able to score from distance, score in front of the net, score from behind the net, score on the power play, whatever it is. He's been working a lot on becoming more versatile that way. So I think we're starting to see that, scoring off the rush, things like that. But then in addition to that, one thing that I thought was interesting that John Hines mentioned to me recently was ever since Phil has started playing on a line with Colton Sissons, and that's a combination that has worked for the Predators in the past. Sis and Phil have always had really good chemistry, and you're starting to see that in both of them now. I mean, Sissons is starting to produce too, not nearly at the same level as Phil, but they're both getting points and more consistently now, and so I think that's definitely chemistry that's clearly working for them on that top line.
I know the NHL trading deadline is now less than 2 months away, coming up for March the 3rd. When do you see the Predators making a decision about whether or not they're going to buy, they're going to sell, or they're just going to stand pat with what they've got?
That is a question that is above my pay grade, I'm afraid. So I could.
What?
Fair enough.
You're not making general manager money? What?
Fair enough. It's just just an estimate. When what they're looking at. Yeah, and I understand. I understand what your point when you say that. However, I know that they're going to be looking at different things out there for sure. Every team is. As we get closer and closer to the deadline, somebody always makes moves, and then it forces the other teams around them to make adjustments. So I know it's something the Predators obviously will keep a close eye on, whether it's their team or someone else's.
Sure, and yeah, it's definitely they're keeping an eye on it. They're keeping an eye on the division, on the conference, what other teams are doing. They're going to obviously entertain conversations for sure, but at the end of the day, I think where they still want to be is that competitive rebuild state. And so, I don't think we're anywhere close to any kind of fire sale situation where, everyone's on the table and let's just completely scrap it. I don't think we're there at all. But, I would say trade deadline season is it's always an interesting time around the league, and there can definitely be some surprises. So we'll probably know when we get closer, and like I said, a lot can happen. It's a long season. There are a lot of games, and a lot can change in a really short time. So I don't even know how accurate any predictions would be at this point, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Was there ever more emphatic you deserve to be in the All-Star game than to get named to the All-Star game and then go out and have a performance like UC Saros last night? Pretty good timing, huh?
Oh, my seriously, I was like, you couldn't write that up any better. But it was funny because I think I actually knew that UC was going to be the All-Star before he did. There were a few of us who learned ahead of time so we could plan for content purposes, but he just found out recently, and then the rest of the team found out yesterday morning at skate in Carolina, and then he went out and put on a performance like that, and it was really, really just remarkable. It's like I said, you really can't write it up any better than that. And I think there are probably other guys who could be in the conversation for the All-Star team from the Predators, like Philip Forsberg, like we said, or Roman Josi, Matt Duchene even. But when it's like, oh, Saros, really? You might think maybe with the start that he had to the season, it wasn't quite all-star quality. But then you see what he did last night, and it's like, okay, yeah, he's the guy.
No doubt about it. Enjoy the game tonight at Capital One Arena. A little reunion. Peter Laviolette, former Preds coach, which, by the way, 3 years to the day. Justin, I don't know if you saw this. 3 years to the day is when, unfortunately, he was let go by the Preds. So.
Wow.
Because, remember, it was right after the Winter Classic.
It was.
Yep.
Yes, it was. Okay.
Yep. Emma, appreciate it as always. Thanks for doing this. Enjoy the game, and you're back on the road. So we'll talk to you next week, probably with, how many suitcases? You're probably used to these long road trips by now, right?
It gets harder and harder when the weather gets colder and we go through all these different climates. Yesterday it was 70 degrees in Carolina, and then after this we go to Ottawa where it's supposed to be in the 20s. So it's getting harder to pack for these long trips, but I'm doing okay so far. Down to only one suitcase. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
The guys would give me a really hard time if I brought more than one. So I gotta keep it to one.
Pack light, move quick. Okay.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Thank you, Emma. Appreciate you doing this.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Emma Lincoln, Preds beat writer in Washington, Capital One Arena tonight. Ovechkin. Everybody believes he's going to break the scoring. He's going to be the most goals scored in NHL history when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen tonight.
No.
I'm just saying when it's all said and done because he is now in the 2 spot.
Yeah.
Behind Gretzky. I think I don't know what the exact number is. Probably, was it 80?
I don't know, but
behind Ovechkin. Behind Gretzky.
There's a lot of tread left on the tire. You
right.
would think enough for him to get there.
I haven't talked to anybody yet that doesn't think he's going to do it now. Which 5 years ago nobody would have said that, but today everybody's like, yeah, he's going to do it.
Yeah. Let's see. I thought I had it here. Now I've lost it. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think it's 1485 for Gretzky. No, here we go.
It's goals.
Here we go.
8.
Here we go. It's 894 for Gretzky, 809 for Ovechkin.
Yeah. Quick math. Yeah.
About 85, I think.
Something like that. Whatever. Pretty close. All right. Good stuff from Emma. We'll come back. We're open the rest of the hour. 615-844-5600. You can react to whatever you want to going into another big sports weekend. Take your calls and continue the McFarland Show next.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, this message is for you. Congress has passed $80 billion in funding to more than double the size of the IRS. 87,000 new IRS employees means more audits, collections, and penalties. This will make the IRS larger than the Pentagon, State Department, FBI, and Border Control combined. Now is the time to call Civic Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Their tax resolution specialists can stop the IRS from taking money out of your paycheck.
With Civic Tax Relief, they were able to save me upwards of $80,000 that I would have had to pay.
For your free tax relief information, call now. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
800-841-0908.
We're going to get into our routine with Daily Tennessee Jackpot. You got $1? Let's have some fun with it. Let's get those numbers going. How many are we picking? And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Let's go. All of us Tennesseans are having fun now. Let's play and play.
Work out a win with drawings every day when you play Daily Tennessee Jackpot. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today we'll have increasing clouds with a high of 52. Mostly cloudy tonight, maybe a shower late, low 38. Saturday, mostly cloudy with showers likely, high 54. A shower in spots for Sunday. Utilizing the resources of the Weatherbug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi. Sports Radio, WNSR.
615-844-5600 is how you can get in touch with us here on this Friday, going into another big sports weekend. Back here on the McFarland Show, Darren and Justin with you. Let's get to the phones. Let's go to Michigan, down in Murfreesboro. Michigan, I owe you an apology.
You don't owe me anything.
Well, actually, I told you not to be nervous. You were nervous, and I told you not to be nervous, and clearly I was wrong.
you can make it up to me. If you go to a Spencer's Gifts or a Hot Topic, I'm sure you can find a car sticker that says, I told you so.
Do they still have Spencer's?
Mail that to me.
Yes, they do.
Do they? Okay.
They do.
Okay.
Probably.
Yes, they do. They got them.
Yep. Because I told you so. And we shared this over the weekend, in a private chat. But I was concerned, and my concerns were well-founded. And now I move on to hoping that the Lions will save my football season this weekend. That's really what I'm calling to talk about. So pour one out for me, for your boys Sunday night, hoping that that's going to be the outcome that we get. But I do have a kind of a Nashville-based question for you guys. Right, I've lived here 30 years. I'm as much a Titans fan as I am a Lions fan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys get the sense that there's wholesale sweeping changes coming to the Titans this offseason, the likes of which we haven't seen in a very, very long time? There's just something, my spider senses are tingling. Something doesn't feel right. It's an old team. They have a lot of people on the wrong side of 30 who are, have money still owed to them. They have free agents who I don't think they can afford to pay. I just wonder, and I don't, I'm not worried about Vrabel taking the Ohio State job or Vrabel going anywhere. I don't have any palace intrigue that you guys wouldn't know about. Just the vibes are really off around this franchise right now. And if they go down to Jacksonville tomorrow and get housed by 3 or 4 touchdowns, I just wonder if this offseason is going to be something the Titans fans have never seen before, like a complete teardown that would make even the Wisenhunt administration look competent by comparison.
Whoa,
I'm going to listen off. I'm going to listen offline.
Well, hold on, Michigan. Hold on, real quick. I want to ask you something. You can't ever compare anything to the Wisenhunt era. Like, that's not fair to anybody. Does this game can you have different answers for different scenarios? So does this game matter? So if they lose, yes, of course. When does that change an answer? Does this game have bearing on the answer to your question?
It does have bearing on the answer to my question in the sense that if they go down there and lose 38-3, right, and Trevor Lawrence throws for 4 touchdowns, I don't know Amy Adams Strunk from, the lady that, is in the car line when I take my kids to school every day. I don't know what her temperament is. She's definitely far more of a civic leader than I think her father was, although by the time her father got here, he was in his 70s. So, take that with a large grain of salt. I just wonder if she sees a team lose by 4 to 5 touchdowns to a team with a young, up-and-coming quarterback and looks around and goes, maybe it's just time to get out the eraser and wipe the dry erase board clean. Just wonder.
Okay. It's a good question. We appreciate the phone call. As always, have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, guys.
All right. Michigan, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do a little reverse psychology. You don't have to be nervous about your Lions this weekend, man. Don't be nervous, okay? It's the Packers. Big deal. Big whoop.
Yeah.
In Lambeau. Big freaking whoop.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions are rolling. They're scoring at will. Don't be. There's no reason for you to be nervous. So there you go.
Okay. Well,
so I told him that there was no reason for being nervous, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
just let him know.
Or should I say, be nervous? Be really nervous.
I mean,
be freaking scared to death.
That's not what you believe anyway. So
you're
it's
right.
okay.
That would be the reverse psychology.
That would
right?
be.
So
but
I
you don't
should
believe
have said,
that. So it's okay.
No, I do.
That they should be nervous.
Yeah.
Of the Green Bay Packers.
Well, yeah. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it is. But Aaron Rodgers was hot garbage a month ago.
He was.
And the Detroit Lions was hotter than Garrett's popcorn. And now you're telling me that they need to be scared of old man Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden.
Hotter than the Gold Water, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So in all seriousness, let's get to his question.
Okay.
They get housed. I think we all, right? It's kind of a no-brainer. Like, there's going to be massive changes. If they go down to Jacksonville and they get housed tomorrow night, there's no way it's going to be like, hey, just to let you know, we're not going to bring back Zach Cunningham, and everything's going to be changed, okay? It's all going to be good. Everybody just relax. We're going to release Zach Cunningham and back to 12 wins. Okay, you can't do that. Okay,
Covered.
That satisfies no one.
Yeah.
So we know. Let's just go with yes. If they go down there and they lose, they don't even have to get housed. If they lose, there's going to be sweeping changes. What if they win and then lose in the playoff game? Does that change anything? A win, does that change anything in your mind?
No, not to me.
Okay.
It's the same team. It's the problem with the Titans all year is most of the time they haven't been healthy. They've not been healthy all year. Injuries decimated the team all year long. Now, have the guys they've had out there, have they done enough? No, they haven't done enough. But have they been hurt? Have they been a mash unit all year? Yeah, they've been a mash unit all year long, and it's never worked. And that's a massive problem for them. Now, what my question for Michigan is, and for you and for anybody else, is what do you consider to be massive wholesale changes?
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly? Because the head coach is going to be here, so that's a change that's not going to happen. There's probably going to be a change in coordinator.
Probably.
Okay, so is that a massive change or is just some change? Okay, so we're going to have
OC's pretty important.
It is. So we're probably going to have a new left tackle. There's going to be new pieces on defense, because they got to replace some of these draft situations that didn't work out.
New quarterback or no?
But, in the NFL, there's already, and I'll get to that, there's already 33 to 40% turnover of the roster every year anyway on an average year. So what does big change really look like? Now, let's talk about the quarterback. The issue that the Titans are going to have to answer this particular summer as far as whether or not they want to make massive changes or not.
It's a two-word answer. Dead money.
Dead money. Or my phrase is, do they want to pay for it? That's it. It's not about what they want to do. It's about how badly do they want to do it. Do they want to cut these guys, get young, and get and just eat the money? Or do they want to give it another go, just give it a tune-up one more time, and they'll be in much better cap position next year to really go out and make moves.
Yeah. I think whenever Michigan puts it the way that he did, I think he's probably talking about, like you already hit on some of it, a new OC, a new left tackle, and I think you are probably including a quarterback when you say that word, massive overhaul.
Well, that's the biggest
massive
decision.
Changes, then you're probably talking
biggest
about.
Biggest decision for the offseason is what do you do with Ryan Tannehill and his $18.8 million? Will he restructure?
Well, that's
what can
the
you
dead
do?
money. That's
yeah,
the dead
that's
money.
the dead money.
That's if you moved on.
That's if you cut him.
Yeah. Double that on what you got to pay him.
Yeah.
That just goes against the cap that you can't spend.
Yeah, but do you want to spend $18.8 million to get rid of him?
Get rid of it.
Because you're not going to find somebody else to take it. So, or will he restructure? What can you do? That's going to be, to me, job one for whoever the GM is.
Yep. We'll come back, Eric. We'll get to you to close out hour number one. We'll do that next.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
As a professional realtor in Nashville for more than 40 years, Richard Courtney is one of the city's top-ranked real estate brokers. He's also the author of 2 books and the real estate columnist for the Nashville Ledger. What does all of this mean to you as a home buyer or seller? Expert knowledge, guidance, and trust. Give Richard Courtney a call today at 615-300-8189. That's 615-300-8189. Or online at richardcourtney.com.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Coming off his second straight SEC win, this one at the bank. Clark Lee, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, this is my favorite time of the week to be with you guys, so I'm happy to be here.
If you think that's not going to be on a promo, Clark, you are sadly mistaken,
Clark,
sir.
you just made the haters so furious, so thank you very much.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
David Beauclair will kick off the second hour of the McFarland Show. Back to the phone lines. Let's bring in Eric. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys. First of all, for Michigan, you better hope that Seattle loses, because if Seattle loses, then that game, Detroit, Green Bay, will be winner take all. If Seattle wins, then Detroit, I don't know how motivated they're going to be to Green Bay. They still may be to knock them out of the playoffs, but their chances are done. Guys, it's also great to hear Hamlin is up and speaking today.
Absolutely.
Just great to hear that. And as far as playoffs, I've heard that for the neutral sites, I've heard Indy, I've heard New York. They were also talking about Detroit, but I believe they're committed. So I know a lot of people are not happy about it, but I think that's the fair way to do it, guys. And also, Darren, I wanted to say I'm sorry about yesterday, but I just didn't want you putting out incorrect information. I've had brain farts too, like that, where I said something wrong, and people love to correct me, and I've done it from time to time, so it happens.
Well, I mean, let's just not let the facts get in the way of a good story. I mean, that just did not go with my storyline at all, Eric.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert did play, but he had bad ribs, but they were still leaving him in the game, late in the game, trailing as big as they were with bad ribs, because that's how I remember that game. But anyway, as far as the Titans go tomorrow, guys, I agree. If they lose close or blow out, there's going to be a lot of changes. Even if they win the playoff game, there's probably going to be massive changes. I definitely think there's still going to be changes, even if they're forced up to make a run, which I don't see, guys. But I'm of the opinion, guys, you got to go all out to win. I've heard the narrative people won't lose, they can get a better draft pick. I'm not of that mentality, and I don't think the coaches and players are, because they know there's going to be changes because jobs are on the line possibly tomorrow. I mean, you go all out to win. You're not worried about draft picks, because this is how I feel, guys. If we were 0-16, I still want to win, just to avoid the embarrassment of having to lose winless season. So get that mess out of here about tanking to lose to get a better draft pick. A lot of times draft picks haven't worked out. But we'll see anyway what happens tomorrow. Guys, y'all take care. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank
you, Eric.
Yeah, that's right. There is the caveat. Seattle has to lose, too, for Detroit. They have to win, and Seattle has to lose.
And Seattle's playing Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
So, at home. So, it's...
I don't think the Rams are very motivated to do anything. So
yeah. Well, the guys are motivated to get on film because they're a team that's going to have to retool and make some decisions in the offseason as well if they want to get back on top after a very down year for them. The Super Bowl hangover for the Rams. So we'll see where that goes.
Is Pittsburgh going to do it again? Are they going to do it again? Like, I think they're going to win.
Yeah.
But they need New England and Miami to lose.
Are they going to get in the playoffs?
Yes.
No.
Remember they backdoored in last year?
They did.
About 19 scenarios had to play out, and they all played out.
Yeah. Are they going to get in the playoffs again? No, I don't think so.
No.
But if they win this game, are they going to come away with another winning season for Mike Tomlin, which I think is one of the most impressive things, even with the Hall of Fame quarterback that he had. I got it. But to go 16 years with a winning season every year, or at least 500 season,
they're
a
winning.
non-losing
I'm telling
season.
you, they're winning.
I mean, that's amazing.
Are you saying New England's going to beat Buffalo?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Who's
Miami play?
I've got it right here. Miami.
Well, one of them's got to win, right? I guess because I believe Pittsburgh is winning the game. They're going to win.
Miami's got the Jets.
The Jets
at home.
Who's playing for Miami?
That's a great question.
Who's playing for the Jets?
Yes. Good question.
Crazy week. It's going to be a fun weekend for sure. All right, that will do it for the first hour of the McFarland Show. We'll come back and preview this game down in Jacksonville tomorrow night. We'll do that with David Beauclair. We'll do that next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. At the White House, President Biden awarding the Presidential Citizens Medals to defenders of the Capitol. This as the country marks 2 years since a group of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol as Congress was trying to certify the 2020 presidential election. On Capitol Hill, House lawmakers continue to vote for a House Speaker. Kevin McCarthy has gained more votes today in that last 2 rounds of voting, but still falling short of the majority to be elected. ABC News political director Rick Klein.
Members of Congress are very, very practical when it comes down to the politics of relationships and the rest. They respect who has the votes. And if McCarthy had started to bleed away support, then people would recognize that and start looking for another option. The fact that he has been able to grow the numbers and get now what will be tantalizingly close to the magic number it matters greatly to these members. They recognize that.
The House cannot conduct business without a House Speaker. This is ABC News.
Need weekend plans? Check out what's happening at your local Lowe's. Weekending at Lowe's gives you and your family the opportunity to make us your weekend destination. Stop by for free workshops, events, and activities for everyone to enjoy. This month, we're celebrating your furry friends with our Dogs of Lowe's Pet Party and Pet Adoption event. Visit Lowe's.com/events for this month's full lineup. Count on Lowe's for all your home improvement needs. And now, activities in your community that are fun for all with Weekending at Lowe's.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Nashville area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 810 Crescent Center Drive, Suite 160, Franklin, Tennessee, 37067. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty there.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour on this Friday afternoon. Hope everybody's having a great day to this point. Darren and Justin here with you. Let's talk about the game tomorrow night that will kick at 7:15 our time. Winner is in, loser goes home or leaves town.
Good day, sir. You get nothing.
And the loser has to come back with a mask next week.
That is it. Goodbye.
Heel.
Good day, sir. You get nothing.
A lot of football.
lot of football.
And now it's time for Darren and Justin Big Game Preview. Sponsored by ABS Communications. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. Call Mark and the gang today at 615-349-8588 or visit them online at abscomm.net. ABS Communications. They make complex simple.
He's a big game guy. David Beauclair is on the line with us. David, how you doing?
I am good. Getting over a little bit of the flu here, but I am ready to go for tomorrow night.
Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully you'll get past that soon enough. That's no fun. But
no, it hasn't been fun.
No, it never is. Nobody really has a good flu story, do they?
I
had the flu and it was great.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever gotten it when I actually got a flu shot too. So I'm a little confounded by that. But oh well.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I said in the first segment of the show today, I've had some buddies reach out and say, "Hey, what do you think? What's your vibe on the game?" And I'm like, I honestly don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. One day, I don't feel like they have a chance of winning, and the next day, I'm like, yeah, well, it's also they're gonna trot everybody out there. They're gonna get some bodies back, and they can be. It's Jacksonville, and Jacksonville hasn't done this since 2005. Sweep them in a regular season. In the end, I just come back to the beginning feelings. I don't know. Do you have a strong feeling one way or the other?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, and I think I've thought about it a lot this week, and I think that's the Derrick Henry factor, right? I mean, if not for Derrick Henry, you would say Titans have no chance to win this game. And I mean, you just think of it from this perspective. Josh Dobbs comes in, plays against the Cowboys. He throws for 232 yards. The offense puts up 13 points. And everybody feels really good about that performance. Like that's kind of where the state of this offense was. And but you think, well, you put Derrick Henry in there, and he's capable of going for 200 yards. And I mean, he had 119 in the first half against Jacksonville the first time. And if they can do something comparable to that, and the Titans can keep going. I mean, you just there is Derrick Henry is that guy that you're like. He can make everything right enough on offense that if the defense does its thing, then you can see the Titans winning. But you're talking about a big difference in momentum going to this one. Like you compare it to 2018, for example, when the Titans and Colts played a win and end game. And I do need to correct you slightly. Jacksonville can actually make it, even if they lose, provided Miami, Pittsburgh, and New England all lose as well, which really makes the Titans' loss to Houston a couple weeks ago terrible, because they would be in that mix somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but potentially for a wild card had they not lost that game. But you compare it to 2018 in that game against the Colts. The Titans had won 4 straight going into that one. The Colts had won 8 of 9. It was a real matchup of two teams that sort of found their legs during the season. That is certainly not the case here when you talk about the Titans limping in here with 6 straight losses.
Yeah, and I don't want to poo-poo that scenario because we did that last year with the Steelers and they got in. Like, that'll never happen.
Exactly.
Like, what's the point of even talking about? That'll never happen. Oh, whoops, it happened. Whoops, it happened. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that could play out. This feels like a changing of the guard game for Jacksonville and really for Tennessee. But I think more for Jacksonville. I think they kind of feel like the Titans have felt for a long stretch of time with the Indianapolis Colts before they've kind of broken down those walls here of late and started beating Indianapolis. But, Indianapolis had their way with Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck for a long time over the Titans, and the Titans have had their way with the Jags for a long time. But now that they've got Trevor Lawrence and it seems like the right coach, I just kind of feel like they're going, this is where we're about to take over things here in the AFC South. Or at least that's the way it feels to me.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence is the key to that. He finally looks like a guy who is the number 1 overall pick. And even you go back to that game here a month ago, And, there were a couple passes he threw early in that game, and I haven't watched him much this year, but there were a couple passes early in that game, and I kind of went to myself, I maybe this guy's just never going to do it. And then as that game went on, he started firing some balls into some tight windows and things like that, where I was going, oh, okay, now I see it. And he's had a couple 300-yard passing games in the last month. They put up 30 or more in 3 of their last 4 games. There is just, you can see the confidence and the sort of sense of identity now that they have that they never had last year and that they didn't really have the first part of this year. But Doug Peterson deserves a lot of credit for sticking with things. This is a team that lost 5 in a row in their own right early in the season and managed to dig themselves out of that hole and get them into this situation. And I think it probably does, because in their minds, I think it not only feels like, okay, our time is now, but the Titans' time is over. Titans have had a nice run here. Doug Peterson has talked about it a couple times this week, and I think they very much feel like this is their opportunity to sort of throw some dirt on the Titans' grave and say, your little run at the top here is done. It's our turn now.
On one hand, you could say Josh Dobbs just made his first ever NFL start. He got that out of the way. He looked pretty good, not bad, and he'll be more comfortable. The nerves, all this, going through it for the first time. So that's in the rearview mirror. So that could only help him for start number 2. But then on the other hand, David, you can say Jacksonville's been breaking down tape of him since last Thursday. Yeah. So they're pretty good in this league about finding out what you're good at and, more importantly, what you're not good at. And so that could work against him. Which side of the fence are you on?
I'm on the side of the fence that Josh Dobbs is a really smart guy. I mean, certainly everybody in this state, this area, knows plenty about Josh Dobbs, but he's a guy who's easy to like. I think he's a guy who's easy to root for, and certainly this is, if you like a good underdog story, this is a situation where you really have an opportunity to root for him. But I'm also a big believer that if you're in the NFL for 6 years and you threw 17 passes and never started a game until week 17 of your 6th season, there's a reason for that. It's not like the teams he's been on didn't overlooked something or missed something with him. Josh Dobbs is what he is, and if this turns into a situation where he has to throw it 35 or 40 times in this game, and he has to complete a bunch of passes on 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 10, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to. He's going to have to hand the ball to Derrick Henry a lot. It's going to have to look a lot more like Malik Willis's first start against Houston. I think you can get away with him throwing the ball more than 10 times, but Josh Dobbs is not a guy who is going to win this game for you. It's got to be Derrick Henry. It's got to be the defense creating turnovers. It's got to be the way that this team pretty much has won games all year.
David, I wanted to ask you, you're kind of getting into it about Joshua Dobbs and his maybe limitations or kind of whatever he is. How much of what we saw against the Dallas Cowboys as far as him being able to throw and have production is a result of Derrick Henry not being there and the fact that he had to throw the ball a lot more than they normally do?
I think it was. I think it was a good opportunity for the coaches to sort of get a feel for him. With it being a meaningless game, the game plan was a little bit different than what we've seen. But I also think what was interesting to me about that one is I felt like the coaches had a better sense of what Josh Dobbs is and can be in this league than they do even Malik Willis, even though they've spent so much time with Malik Willis. I mean, think of how many times we saw Dobbs throwing on the run and a moving pocket and those sorts of things. I think that was all very much part of the education process that they wanted to see exactly what they could and couldn't do with him if they decided to stick with him going into this game. And excuse me, keep in mind, he had one throw early in that game that if Trayvon Diggs holds on to it, it's a pick six for Dallas, and that game could have turned out completely differently. And we might be talking about Josh Dobbs in a completely different way right now, but because he doesn't have the huge arm, he has to make throws on time and with the right reads every single time, and that's why I say if he has to throw it 35, 40 times, the chance of him doing that, even as smart as he is, are pretty slim, and then you're looking at some potentially costly turnovers there.
Who benefited the most, do you think, from the mini bye the Titans kind of had with the game off?
Player wise,
yes, sir.
I think Derrick Henry, obviously, if you go back to 2019 when they rested him the next to last week of the regular season, and then you saw what he did against Houston with 30-some carries and 212 yards, whatever it was, that got him his first rushing title. I think he'll never admit it, but I think a week off for Derrick Henry is probably a really good thing at this point. You got to believe it's good for Jeffrey Simmons, who has really not been the same since he hurt the ankle way back when. And, he's played through it most games and has been a factor, but he hasn't been nearly as disruptive as he was earlier in the year. I think that's got to be good. And, you've got to hope if you're the Titans that Christian Fulton is finally ready to get back in there and give you a game. My sense was if last week was a truly meaningful game that Fulton probably could have and would have played, the fact that he didn't and got more time to rest that groin, I think that's that's the one thing you say about those groin and hamstring injuries, right? When you think it's done, or when you think it's healed, wait another week, and he actually got to do that.
Talk to me about the pressure for this game. Who do you think is under more pressure, the Titans or the Jaguars, to win this game?
That's a really good question because, the Titans, if they lose this game, then it becomes a story of an epic collapse when you were, 3 or 4 games ahead of everybody else in the division, cruising to a third straight division title, 98% chance to make the playoffs, all that sort of stuff. But they've lost enough now that, it almost feels like there's nothing to lose for the Titans in this game. And for the Jaguars, it's you've had a nice run here. Now prove it. Prove that you can win a game when there's a whole lot on the line, because they have sort of been the team with nothing to lose all this time in terms of tracking down the Titans. Now they're the ones a game up in first place. It's in their building. I think from a pressure standpoint, it's more on Jacksonville than it is on Tennessee right now.
I would agree. I mean, it's because Trevor Lawrence is being asked to be this all-world franchise quarterback, and this is the kind of game where you want your all-world franchise quarterback to show up and go for big. And if he doesn't, it's kind of like, well, who is this guy really? If he comes up short.
Yeah, you drafted him to do exactly this, to get you in the playoffs, to win games that are must wins, and here it is. Show us you can do it. I think, having said that, I thought when the Jacksonville left here a few weeks ago, and suddenly there was a race for the division, I thought maybe that the burden of expectations would get to the Jaguars somewhere along the line in the last 3 weeks, but they have played exceptionally in the last 3 weeks. I've been a little bit surprised by that, so I think they're probably ready and equipped to handle the situation in this one too.
Last thing, we had a caller last hour ask us what this game, the implications of this game on their offseason. If they lose this game, what do you think how bad or how big of a retooling, rehauling, rebuild explosion. I don't know what's the right word of what'll happen this offseason.
If they lose, it makes it a whole lot easier for a new general manager to come in here and say, you know what, it's time. It's time. It's time to say goodbye to Taylor Lewan. It's time to say goodbye to Ryan Tannehill. It's time to say goodbye to Bud Dupree. You can pick any number of these guys and say, there's a lot of holes on this team. You need to redo some things on the offensive line. You got to get some wide receivers in here. These are things that are going to need money to fix, and the way you get that money is you free up a lot of salary cap space, and there are options to do that. Now if the Titans win this game and then they go upset somebody in week 1 of the playoffs, that becomes a harder conversation to have. But I think it'll be simple if the Titans lose this game, end the season with 7 straight losses. And I mean, the issues are obvious. The issues on this team too, and it's not like they're new issues. Wide receiver was an issue going into the year. It got worse during the course of the season when Kyle Phillips has missed most of the year and when Treylon Burks has been in and out of the lineup. The offensive line was an issue going into this year because Aaron Brewer was not going to be as good as Roger Saffold. Nicholas Petit-Frere was not going to be as good as Jack Conklin a couple of years ago, or even David Quesenberry last year. And then it's gotten worse because Ben Jones is on injured reserve and Taylor Lewan's on injured reserve and Nate Davis is on injured reserve. So, the problems are obvious. The fixes are not, except that, you're just going to need new, younger, fresher bodies in there in a lot of cases, and how you do that is you spend money to fix those holes and plug those holes, and it'll be a really interesting off season from that regard, because there are going to be some familiar names that are going to be sent packing for this franchise.
No doubt about it. Appreciate you doing this. Get better soon.
Yes, sir.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, boys. I appreciate it.
Right. David Beauclair at Beauclair Sports on Twitter. Give him a follow. He's the publisher of all things Titans on Fan Nation Network, SI.com channel. We'll come back. Your phone calls are welcome. We're wide open the rest of the hour to get into whatever you want. Another huge sports weekend coming up in this city. 615-844-5600. That's 844-5600. More of the McFarland Show next.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscom.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Hey guys, it's Zach. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your bet doesn't win. Just sign up with our promo code TAS. There's so many great deals. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. And you get paid your winnings fast, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code TAS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. In the state of Tennessee, you got to be 21 and up and present in Tennessee. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the TN Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers.
Call 800-715-9880.
That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
Call 800-715-9880. That's 800-715-9880.
Sponsored by Annuity General. Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
If you need a staycation or planning a trip to Music City, stay at Bento Living Chestnut Hill. Voted the best boutique hotel in the city by the Nashville Scene. Bento Living is located on the edge of bustling downtown and boasts on-site dining, shopping, live entertainment on the rooftop, and free fitness classes. Come experience Nashville like a local. Visit BentoChestnutHill.com to book your Music City vacation today.
It's a Bill King Show.
In Little League football, they play it off. You can't do it in college football, Bill. You got to come up with a bunch of computers and some BCS cockamamie scheme. My answer was yes. It's unique. Absolutely love it. I go into my garage every day and make sure there are no dust particles on those BCS computers. I do that.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
You can watch us every day, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We try to clean up for you. Kinda. Maybe.
Kinda.
Possibly. You never know from day to day, but you have to check it out by watching us. Back here on the McFarland Show, 844-5600. Let's go to those phones. Let's go to Nolansville. Tony is standing by. What's up?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Tony.
I'm heading back to the house on some of these back roads in Nolensville, and I tell you what a beautiful day. That sun hitting through the trees. It's a nice day. And then when you get the report that Damar Hamlin is doing as good as he's doing and continue recovering, it just, Darren, you talked about opening the show with good news. I'm trying to stay positive here. So that's
I think
good
it's
stuff.
I think it's very positive on that front.
Oh, very positive.
Excellent.
And something else I want to throw out there. I know we don't talk about it because you can't call into his show or nothing, but Darren, you, I think, won a football contest with three other gentlemen on another gentleman's show, the George Plaster Show, and I was keeping up with that a little bit, and one of your picks, the first game was Middle that you had that won their bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
So you won the contest with the first pick, and no one else, with all their points they had lined up, couldn't even touch you. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you, Tony. You're the first person to congratulate me. No one from the show has. I didn't even know I'd won. So we haven't done our follow-up show yet. I guess that'll be next week.
And probably will, and I've been listening for it. But I think with that thing, I don't think no one can catch you. But I'll let that be for that show. And guys, y'all know who's getting a big payday today?
Who's
Probably
getting
don't.
a big payday today?
I do not.
No.
Shane Beamer at South Carolina. He is going to be making about $6.5 million more on today. He's getting a big raise based off the fact when he signed on board 2 years ago, he took a 1.75 salary, and that was to help out South Carolina to pay off Muschamp, who was fired on the buyout. They were doing a $15 million buyout. They reduced it down to $12.5 million.
and he was willing to work with them, and he took a $1.75 million. Last year, his salary, or this past season, is $2.75, and today he will get $6.5 million increase.
Which is the same amount of money that Hugh Freeze got at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And but he's having a big payday today. And, and of course, over there in South Carolina, they see a guy I think 7 wins the first year, 8 wins this year, beating Tennessee, beating Clemson. I think they're ready to hold on to him for a little bit.
I would say so. Yeah, for good reason. That's a pretty little. If they would have held on, right? I mean, that would have been a heck of a gamut to end the season.
Oh, another feather in the cap.
Tennessee, Clemson, and who they play the bowl game that they should have beat and gagged it away.
I thought it was.
Who was it?
It wasn't Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I think that's what I had in my head. Yeah, and they gagged that away. I mean, they had it.
They were close.
Man, I mean. Are you kidding me? It would have probably been about $8.5 million if they'd have won that.
Isn't that what a run that would have been?
Yes.
It's still a hell of a run. So, and tomorrow night, you go out there, they're going to lay it on the line, but I just think so much is against them. I do not think they're going to come back to Nashville with a victory, but I don't want to see them go out there and lay down on the season and just, you're trying to get the playoffs. That's your first goal, anybody's team in the NFL, is make the playoffs. And, if they make it, great. It might be a short-lived, but you don't want to see them go to Jacksonville and just lay down. Go down there and compete, play to win the game. If it don't happen, well, then come back home when everybody will regroup, starting with a new general manager. So, that's my take on everything right there. And good luck we do have a national championship game Sunday, guys, in the FCS. And South Dakota State against the almighty North Dakota State. And I think the Jackrabbits are going to take care of the Bison this time.
Wow, okay. Called shot by Tony.
I'm calling it. I think the Jackrabbits, it's just time.
Well, if you get it right, give yourself a raise. How about that?
Well, I might do that. And let me say this. For the January, and I'll say this and getting off topic a little bit, for the January to be a no alcohol month, I blew that out of the water on New Year's Day.
So much for the resolution.
Have a great one, guys.
All right.
Have a good, safe weekend.
You too, Tony. Thank you,
Tony.
as always. Pretty interesting, the salary. So little Nicky makes 11.7 per year.
Yeah, because he has to.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's in the contract, yeah.
And
he has to get paid the
deserves
most.
it. I'm sorry, he does.
Hey.
I don't know why I'm saying I'm sorry, but he does.
Goat territory. He's the GOAT, so that's what happens.
Kirby Smart, 11.25 a year.
Wow.
I'd say right now he's
about to go back-to-back, so.
He's been in 3 national championship games, and he's about to go back-to-back. Yep. And yes, I am saying it. He's going back-to-back. They're not losing TCU. We'll talk about that on Monday.
You wouldn't think, okay.
No, they're not losing, but we'll talk about that on Monday. Jimbo Fisher, 9.5 per year.
Well, it didn't look like that this year, but when you're making the issue with making $9.5 million is when you're making that much money and you don't win, you're almost making too much money for them to fire you.
Well, let me ask you something. What's changed? I mean, does this look any different than Kevin Sumlin was winning 8 games a year? Well, you brought in Jimbo Fisher to.
You were hoping he would do more.
What's changed?
You were hoping he would do more.
Yeah.
And so far it hadn't looked like more.
No.
Looked like you're paying more and getting about the same.
Done well in the recruiting scene. Okay, that's great. So did Butch Jones.
W.
Yeah, so did Butch Jones.
Need more points when the game is over.
He did just hire Bobby Petrino, so we'll see.
We'll see if that fixes
their offense gets any better.
Here.
Brian Kelly makes $9.5 million per year.
Okay. Well, I mean, year one at LSU. And by the way, he's rebounded. The first half was a little rough.
Yeah.
Second half, I mean, listen, you win the West. What do you want? I mean, that's pretty good.
Yep. Lane Kiffin got a big fat raise. Now he's in the $9 million a year club. Mark Stoops, $9 million per year. Yes, you heard it. Kentucky football is paying their coach $9 million per year.
I mean, all right.
Just think about that.
I am thinking about it, and it's I guess you're paying them not to leave.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't go through all, but Hugh Freeze, I just said it, and Beamer in the $6.5 million per. Drinkowitz is also in the $6.5 million. Lowest paid coach currently in the league is Arnett at Mississippi State, but I guess that's subject to change.
He just got there. Yeah, unfortunate circumstance that led to that.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Clark Lee, 3.75.
Yeah, which has been consistent with the Vanderbilt job over the years. They don't pay as much as the other schools do in the SEC.
No, they were willing for one guy. But he left.
Yes.
And then here's where I wanted to get with this.
Okay.
And that's going to change. Josh Heupel. Do you know what he makes per year?
What was it? 4.3?
5.
5. Okay.
$5 million. That's about to change.
Okay. Yeah.
We know Tennessee loves to give raises and contract extensions.
Yes.
To the football coaches.
Especially right after the success.
Right.
Right after.
Right after.
Like,
In fact, I can't believe we're still talking about it on January 6th.
Well, for all we know, the deal's already done and just not announced yet.
That's true. That's a good point.
For all we know.
One little national championship game tidbit. Again, we'll talk more about this on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But according to reports that I've seen out there while we've been on the air, Uga's not going.
What?
Yeah, not going to L.A. Not going. Apparently, he wanted to tailgate.
Well, is there a leash law in Georgia, in
In
California?
LA?
Yeah, is that the reason?
I don't know.
I think that might be the reason.
No, I don't know the real reason.
I thought he was sick. Actually, I've heard that he had some kind of sickness.
It's too far for him to travel, is what I saw.
Really, too far.
Too far. Hammer TCU.
Wow.
How is it too far for Uga to travel? Uga doesn't get on planes. There's no carrying case for Uga? Apparently not? No? I guess you can't put Uga in a carrying case, Justin. Okay, well, all right. Well, he couldn't get a ride with some of the private, I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just
college football national championship game between a team in Atlanta, Georgia, and the other team is in Fort Worth, Texas. I think there might be some private planes going out to this game.
I think
that's
so.
just me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think might be a few private planes where Uga might be able to get a ride without sitting in a crate, if that's the issue. So, I think somebody be willing to give Uga and at least one of his handlers a ride.
That's a pretty good gut feeling on your part.
Yeah,
Pretty good gut feeling.
What Georgia booster wouldn't want to say, I had Uga on my private jet to get to California? And yeah, I mean, that sounds like the kind of thing, the story that somebody with the private jet who's a Georgia fan would want to tell.
They are saying this is so. I wanted to get the facts because I'm just kind of giving you the headlines that he's not traveling. Apparently, the owner is saying that trip would be too difficult for the 9-year-old Bulldog to make. Can he not sit in first class? Can he not?
Too difficult.
Can Uga not get a first class ticket? Can you not give Uga his own row? Can you put him on his own private jet?
So I have several questions.
Yeah. Too difficult of a trip.
The owner says that. Okay.
Yes.
Who's the owner?
Uga did. That was not Uga. Uga was not quoted.
I know
The owner was.
Uga, but the University of Georgia doesn't own Uga?
No.
Apparently not. Apparently Uga is
the Sealer family
is an
own
outside
Uga.
company who owns Uga.
Yes.
Well, okay. All right. Well, then that's what happens then. Because I think if Uga was owned and controlled by the University of Georgia, pretty sure Uga be, wagging and walking at SoFi.
Yeah, I think Uga's just a W-9.
You may be right.
I just think he's kind of self-employed.
Okay.
Is
Smokey self-employed
I think
as
he
well?
just invoices them for games.
Is Smokey self-employed? Does Smokey work for the University of Tennessee?
You know,
Smokey
if Tennessee was in the spot, I have not heard whether Smokey would make the trip or not.
Well, listen, did Smokey go to Tempe back in '98? That's pretty far. It's a far trip. Was Smokey out there at the Fiesta Bowl with T. Martin and stuff? And by the way, it was T. Martin. I know a graphic on TV says something different.
Did we not talk about it this week?
No, we didn't get to it.
Oh.
There was a graphic on TV that says something different. You know what? Let's take a break and come back because I want to say something about this.
Oh.
And we're
Are you
way
throw
too close.
shade at TV?
No. Maybe a little bit. But,
Okay.
We're way too close to the break. I don't want to get going and then have to stop for the good
this is
friends of
built
the commercial.
up.
But no, it's just something I want to express real quick. It's fine. Just,
One of the McFarlands will blow up next here on WNSR.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
You hear the phrase a lot this time of year, happy holidays. But holidays are not always happy, particularly for guys grappling with a divorce that they didn't choose. These men need more than the help of a good lawyer. They need the hope and encouragement of a good friend.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 317-322-0122. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
From the big game to the big dance, Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the Bar Lines staff take care of you. Grab a Bar Lines signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs. Or a Bar Lines double stack and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Lines. Located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown. WNSR Nashville Sports Radio would like to take this time to say congratulations to Greg Poe. Greg is a member of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. Greg Poe has been a standard and staple of Nashville sports media. Congratulations to Greg Poe and the rest of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. From your friends and family at WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
(615-844-5600) is how you can get in touch with us. We're live here at the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio on this Friday afternoon, and you're listening to the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin, and one of the McFarlands is about to implode.
I'm not going to implode. I'm not angry about it. I just want to make a point about something here that's been going on for a very long time. That I just want to address. And what happened during the Orange Bowl gives a perfect opportunity to address said issue.
Peyton Manning's been retired for a while?
Peyton Manning has been retired for a while. That is true.
Okay.
But we even missed the year on that. So for those of you who missed it, during the Orange Bowl, they showed a wonderful shot of Peyton Manning, who was sitting and enjoying the game, minding his own business.
Yeah.
Peyton didn't ask for attention.
Well, he doesn't get that luxury.
Hey, listen.
He's Peyton Manning.
He's Peyton Manning. He's football royalty. Everybody knows it. He's college football royalty. He's pro football royalty. He's Peyton Manning. Everybody gets it. All right. So there's Peyton sitting there enjoying himself. ESPN or who carried the camera? So it was ESPN, correct?
Yep.
ESPN, ABC. They find Peyton in the crowd. They put up a picture and they put him on video, and they put up a small graphic right below Peyton. So everybody, just in case you're from outside, let's say you're a Clemson fan, you don't know anything about the University of Tennessee. Maybe you're a new fan. Maybe you don't even know Peyton Manning went to Tennessee, which I bet there's a lot of people out there these days that don't know that because he's an Indianapolis Colt. He's a Denver Bronco. Most people have no idea where he went to school, which is understandable. So you put up, hey, by the way, Peyton Manning, graduate of the University of Tennessee. Peyton Manning, a great champion for the University of Tennessee. Peyton Manning, 1998 national champion. Peyton Manning.
Whoops.
What?
What?
Okay. So, I have lived in this city since the early 90s. 1991 is when my family and I moved here. And when we moved here, the University of Tennessee was it. You understand me? Which didn't make any sense because I was like, well, we're in Nashville. Where's Knoxville from here? 2.5 hours. So our favorite football team is 2.5 hours out of town? I didn't quite get it. But I learned to get it real quick, and I understood Tennessee is a really big deal. Peyton Manning came in. Heath Schuler before him. Fantastic, big-time quarterbacks. They won all kinds of games, high ranking. Everybody loved them. It was fantastic. What an incredible run. Peyton Manning went on to set all kinds of records. Then he went on to the NFL. He set all kinds of records there. He won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different franchises, NFL MVPs, all the accolades you can possibly imagine. There's only one thing Peyton Manning did not do, and that is he did not win the national championship at the University of Tennessee in 1998.
I don't think Jim Irsay would have appreciated that because he was the Colts quarterback.
Well, he might have appreciated it because the Colts were 3-13 that year.
True.
He
threw a lot of picks.
That T. Martin won the national championship at the University of Tennessee that year. And this is where I'm kind of going with this. This myth that Peyton Manning won the national championship at Tennessee continues to run the further away we get from the 98 championship, which is understandable. It was just 1 year. It wasn't like, it was a 5-year difference. It was not. It was a few months. So it's understandable why people would think that. The issue is it is never really corrected a lot of times. People just say, oh, yeah. So this is what I've started to do. People who claim to be fans of the University of Tennessee, and I think they're kind of fair weather fans that just got here, it has become the litmus test for me to determine what kind of Vol fan are you. Because if you're a Vol fan at all, you probably know Peyton Manning went to your school. But if you just got here the other day, you probably are unaware that Peyton Manning didn't win the national championship for the Vols, and you probably don't know who did.
Is this a thing, really?
You don't. Well, see, okay, you know what?
So
because you're in the bubble, and so the bubble of sports knowledge here.
You're in the So you're in the outside the sports bubble.
You're in the sports bubble knowledge where everybody in this particular circle, that is common knowledge. If you are just outside this realm where you think wearing orange is, just a kind of a cute thing to do when the Vols are hot, and you love the Vols and you sing Rocky Top because it's great, but you don't have any, because Peyton was the greatest, especially when he led Tennessee to that championship. We haven't won. Tennessee hasn't done anything since Peyton Manning left.
Just for the people who didn't see the graphic.
And that is not what happened.
They have underneath Peyton Manning, it says Tennessee quarterback 1994 to -97. Then it says Peyton Manning. Then it says 1998 national champion. So you're in the business. Who's putting up these graphics? Is this, because my initial thought was, intern, 24-year-old intern put this up underneath Peyton Manning.
Not a 24-year-old intern, a 24-year-old employee. There's a difference. So interns are not really paid. It's a very young, possibly employee who put it up, who was in their mind like, yeah, that's right. He was here.
But if you put up
and they're
Tennessee
just doing the
quarterback
math.
from 94 to 97, why would you think he's the 1998 national champion?
Because in their mind, the national championship game was probably played in 1998, not the 1990s.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So the 97 season, but it was a 98 championship game.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Oh, yeah. It's that easy. It's that easy. So in your mind, if you know Tennessee won the championship in 98 and Peyton Manning was there from 94 to 97, that must mean he must have been the champion during the 98 championship game. Right?
No.
Yeah.
Actually, they played that game in 1999.
I didn't. But see, the Titans, they went to the Super Bowl in 99. No, they went to the Super Bowl in the 99 season. The actual game was played in 2000.
And that's today's history lesson. That was brought to you by, let's get back to the phones. Vol Boy.
Now, I want to hear. Come on, Vol Boy.
What's up?
Well, it's like this. Peyton Manning played football in the NFL for years and years and years and years, and T. Martin did not. And so people know the name Peyton Manning, and they don't know the name T. Martin because T. Played maybe a year or two in the NFL. So it is a common misconception, but anybody that's worth their weight in orange knows the difference. You know, it's that simple.
Well, I just got a learning lesson. I didn't know that this was a thing.
And I don't.
Justin
and
said
Ball Boy, listen,
it was
I don't
a thing.
disagree with you, and I agree with you that is the reason, and I understand that. I'm just saying I have heard it, and I'm sure you have heard it as well, good sir. That this is a common thing that goes around, that people actually believe this.
Yes, I agree with you, and I've heard it myself and go, no, that's not right. It was good old T. Martin. I was actually at the game in Tempe, Arizona, the highlight of my volunteer viewing career. You know, there was another guy that a caller years ago, Phil King's show, when he was on in the afternoon on this station.
Yes, sir.
He would call in all.
You call it what? Oh, no, he got zapped.
Oh.
I wanted to hear this story.
I wanted to hear it too.
I think I know where he was going.
Where was he going?
I think.
Okay.
Let's see if he
See
can
if he
call
calls back. Call back, Ball Boy.
Right, well, let's do that. This is
I
a
want
good
to hear
time for us
about
to
it.
step away for the
That's
final
true.
time.
That's true.
We'll come back, wrap up Friday's edition of the McFarland Show next.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here. Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Lieutenant, can you tell us what happened today?
Our officers responded to a crash on I-40 westbound this morning. The driver of a pickup truck lost control of the vehicle, veered left, and went into a ditch.
911, what's your emergency?
We've been in a crash. Please send someone. My fiance is hurt.
A front seat passenger was wearing a seatbelt. She survived without injury. The driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the truck. He died at the scene.
Law enforcement writes tickets to save lives. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Coming off his second straight SEC win, this one at the bank. Clark Lee, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, this is my favorite time of the week to be with you guys, so I'm happy to be here.
If you think that's not going to be on a promo, Clark, you are sadly mistaken,
Clark,
sir.
you just made the haters so furious, so thank you very much.
The afternoon stretch. Afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Back here on the McFarland Show, Justin's hot, man. He's hot.
I mean, I'm just.
He's hot under the collar.
I'm appreciative of Ball Boy getting my back on this.
Now, we got to get
just
the rest
to let
of the
me know
story.
I'm not crazy.
I want to hear the rest of the story because he literally got zapped the minute he said, afternoons, Bill Keene on this station. Zzz, gone. I think he's back with us. Ball Boy, you there?
I am here. Yes,
Okay.
I did say Bill King's show on this station years back. There was an avid Colts fan. He talking about Peyton Manning. Gave myself away. Peyton Manning. And I called in and said his name does not rhyme with Ed O'Bannon, Cannon, Shannon, or any of that. It's Manning. And I'm proud to say we didn't hear a whole lot more of that guy. I think I ran him off permanently with my bully belief.
You know who I'm mad at? I'm mad at Beverly Davenport because every time I hear Peyton Manning's name, I just think of her. Peyton Manning.
Hey.
Peyton Manning.
She needs to say it quite a bit.
I can't get her out of my head when I hear Peyton Manning because of the way she said it.
Vol Boy, quick question. Do you know if Smokey is owned by the university or an outside family?
I think it's owned by an outside family, and the cheerleaders kind of take care of him during the season, and he comes to the hotel room with them, either home games and away, I believe. I knew a cheerleader when I was in school, and that's the way it was then, but it was slightly before the age of Peyton Manning.
So this was you were there before Peyton Manning?
I'm sorry, Ball Boy. I know it's a random question, but we were talking about UGA earlier, so that's why I brought that.
I think he too is he's with the family.
With a family,
Yeah,
okay.
I think
outside family.
Yeah, lives with the family, but I know those cheerleaders love that dog like it's their own, especially on game day and with practice and whatnot. That dog loves it, and it's. I don't know if you noticed when he ran out of the tee the last time. He was digging sideways as soon as he went through the top of that tee, and it was he knew exactly where to head to. He's taking that diagonal.
Devlin wants to know how you sign up for like a Smokey job to have the UT cheerleaders take care of you. So how does one go about that? I'm asking for Devlin, of course. Do you know?
Well, I can't say.
Okay.
I did have a friend who was the actual mascot though while I was.
Oh, really?
Up there.
Okay.
Yeah,
man, that's a job.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it. And that suit supposedly has odors that have accumulated over the years.
Over the years,
yeah,
it smells like tradition,
or something else. Ball Boy, appreciate it.
Thanks,
have a great weekend.
Boy.
Thanks. Y'all have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. Ozzy's. I've heard stories about Ozzy at Greer State.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like who died when
I
he went to
mean-
go pick up Ozzy.
Maybe that's the reason they had to retire
Have
Ozzy.
that's expired, right? We can tell that story.
That's how we
right?
got Booster. When they moved to the new park, Ozzy didn't come along. It was
No,
Booster.
nor his stinky outfit.
It's, it was time for a change.
Yeah.
Just time for a change. Nothing wrong with it. It's time for a change.
Nate on Twitter says the Hudson family owns Smokey.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, I guess has owned Smokies. They've been breeding them since 1953.
Very cool.
How about that?
LSU's mascot is Mike the Tiger. And so during the break, I was looking up a couple of things. Mike the Tiger lives on campus between the football stadium and the arena. They built Mike the Tiger a $15.7 million facility, complete with waterfalls and everything else for Mike the Tiger, so he could be comfortable there at LSU.
Yeah, he was raised by Joe Exotic.
No, I don't think that's true.
Is that not true?
No, it's just as true as Peyton Manning winning the national championship at Tennessee in 1998. Just as true.
I thought for sure Joe Exotic was behind Mike the Tiger.
And the person who put up that graphic was just as sure that Peyton Manning clearly won the national championship at Tennessee in 1998.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
He didn't? What are you talking about?
Boy, when that graphic went up, it gave a lot of people something to laugh about and a lot of people angry, like yourself.
Well, it also gave a lot of people an education.
Yeah. All right, what happens quickly? What happens tomorrow?
Titans win.
You really think they win?
I do.
Devlin?
No shot.
No shot. So we go for, win, no shot. I'm going to be a chicken bleep and say take the points. I don't know what that 6.5. Take the points.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I've already made that clear.
I know we don't know. No, we don't know. None of us knows.
Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday. Afternoon Stretch is next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. On Capitol Hill, in a vote of 220 to 212, House lawmakers voted to adjourn until 10 p.m. Eastern so Republican leader Kevin McCarthy can shore up the remaining votes needed to become House Speaker. It comes after 3 days and 13 rounds of voting. At the White House, President Biden awarded 14 individuals